This dreary weather is the perfect time to cozy up and read a good book. So get ready for another recap and rehash of what we are reading this month. It's time for Kelly's Book Club. Joining me again on set are my friends and fellow book club members, Lauren Mullinix and Elizabeth Wiley. Thank you and welcome, ladies. We just finished New York Times bestselling author Adrienne Young's novel, A Sea of Unspoken Things. This book follows a woman named James who is investigating her twin brother Johnny's mysterious death. And to do that, she has to go back to a small town in California where she grew up and come to terms with her own haunting past. That includes a high school friend who passed away, and Micaiah, the only person she's ever loved. Lots of twists and turns and a little romance in this one. So let's get started. We love to always start with a rating, and it's 1 through 10. So drum roll, 3, 2, 1. What's our rating? Okay, I'm between you. I'm a 6.5 is what I'm trying. Oh, okay. Elizabeth's a solid 7.
Solid 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did we give the book this rating? Elizabeth, I want to start with you.
Yeah, I think for me, I just felt like I felt like I was there, like her writing really took me there, and that was really powerful, and some of the character development was really good, and so I was sucked in enough to give it a 7.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's so funny. I thought that the character development was wonderful, and I loved her writing style. I just didn't love the story.
Oh, but I feel like usually like mysteries and thrillers.
I love a good Dateline, but I think I just like to watch it.
Oh, fair enough. You're right. Like this kind of had everything I thought I'd like too, like thriller, suspense, twists. But I almost feel like the ending too was a little, like I knew sort of what was coming, maybe because the character development was so good, but I still gave it that rating because I was turning the page. I stayed up one night until midnight because I'm like, I have to find out who did it. It's one of those like whodunit books. So would you all recommend this book still though to friends and family, Lauren?
Yeah, I would. I think knowing like my friends and their different reading style, there are certain people I would recommend it to that like these kind of books. My sister read it because she loves the book club.
She is part of the book club. Who is it?
And she loved it. Like she saw my rating on Goodreads and like texted me and was like, "How dare you?"
What about you, Elizabeth? You read like how many books a year do you read too?
I read a lot. I read over 200 books last year.
What? I love it. Your goals, yes.
So, I mean, I think kind of similar to you, I would recommend it to someone who I think likes this genre, this kind of style writing. I think if you liked, that kind of like character-driven mystery, you could really enjoy this book.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite character too?
That's a good question. I mean, I actually really loved like the scenes where you got a glimpse of the brother in those moments because he wasn't really present in the story. And so like kind of, and Adrienne has a tendency to have some of this magical realism. And so some of that like twin connection, but almost went beyond like what made sense, where she was like almost having these visions and stuff. I thought that was really cool to see him without him being there.
Yeah. What about you, Lauren? A favorite character or?
I mean, I liked James. Like, you grew to really, really like her as a person and just kind of like understand like why she was feeling the way she was feeling. I thought the twin like telepathy or whatever was like, we have friends that are twins and I know that that's like that, but I think maybe because I just couldn't relate. I thought it was a little weird. Yeah,
maybe the not relating with some things too. I think I loved Micaiah as how like the love interest in this. Lauren's gonna start like, I'm a hopeless romantic, little delulu with that. So I loved every time he came in there. It gave me a little mystery and romance in it. Was there any part, of this book that struck a particular emotion? It could be even like an annoyance that you think of, or I guess just something that sparked an emotion.
I don't know about like an emotion, but when Ben was first introduced, I kind of like noted that I feel like that would have been like an important one, and I felt that it was kind of weird that he was introduced and then not talked about for a really long time.
Yeah, and Ben was potentially linked to the twin brother,
correct,
right, as a potential son. Yes. Okay. What about you, Elizabeth? Any
I liked the complexity of some of the characters that had you questioning, like, could they have done it or not? Ben's mom, I thought, was one where she was like, she obviously had a very complex relationship with the brother. The father next door whose son had died, who like had a really nice moment later in the book that kind of like showed his some humanity when he had been a little bit more one note early. So I liked some of those characters.
I agree, they kind of all came back around. And Elizabeth, you have read some of Adrienne Young's other books, right? So how does this book compare to some of the other ones you've read of hers?
Yeah, I mean, she kind of has done a few different genres. She has some fantasy writing, so that's obviously a little different. Fable is the start of a series if you're interested in fantasy. I think my favorite book of hers is The Unmaking of June Farrow, I think is how you say it. Really interesting story about a family whose women can travel through time. So a little bit more fantasy there, but also feels like it could be real life. So anyways, that's probably my favorite of hers.
Oh, okay. And what do we think about the ending? Because I know sometimes like a book like leaves you like hanging a little bit. This one for me didn't. I feel like it kind of wrapped everything in a bow, which I like, so I'm not stressed out. Sometimes, you know what I mean, when you read a book and then you're
100%.
The anxiety, you're like, ah! So what were your guys' feelings on the ending, Lauren?
We're so similar. Like I love everything that's wrapped up in a bow nicely, and like you end the book and you're like, great, I can go to bed.
Exactly.
It'll be great. Because a book that leaves you with a cliffhanger where you're just like frustrated. What was our book club book? The Guest by Emma Cline.
Yes.
I thought that somebody ripped out pages in the back, and I just
I know, we're like still, when you have to Google after that, like what did this mean and stuff.
Yeah.
What about you, Elizabeth? What do you think?
The one thing I think is it felt a little fast. Like the book was not a super fast moving book to me. Like and then it like wrapped up really nicely, really fast.
Yeah. And like got to the end, and then it was like zoom.
Maybe she just got over writing it. She's like, you know what? We're just gonna be done with this too. Well, thank you so much, you guys, for being here. And we want to give a shout out to our friend Michelle Bodman, who is usually here too for the book club. She's not feeling well, so we want to make sure you're feeling okay. And it's her birthday today.
Happy birthday, Michelle.
Happy birthday. And no worries too, our next book has already been chosen for March. It's called James by Percival Everett that you're seeing right there. It's a reimagined version of the adventures of Huckleberry Finn, this time told by Jim's point of view, and it's already generating a lot of buzz, so we're super excited to get started on that. And of course, if you want to read along, text CLUB to 206-448-4545 to join our book club. Please do, and happy reading. And thanks for spending time with us today, y'all. You can check out our website for more of our content, and you can always send us an email to share your thoughts. Don't forget to enjoy your new day, and we'll see you next time.